美国名嘴咆哮。
片段一。
Wow, look at this, guys. It's just like a full Kaoqianyang factory here. Tons of roast, huge lambs right over the coals. That is crazy. Look at all of these Kaoqianyang. Handola. It's just like a lamb factory here. And you can see there's a couple different stages. 这个是什么油？这个是红油嘛？哦，四川的红油嘛？ So he's just rubbing these lambs with Hongyo Sichuan chili oil. Look at that. 这个是男的女的还是都这个是男的？公的。哎。哦，公的。都是公的嘛？嗯。哦。So they're all male lambs here. You can see he's just coating them all with that.
片段二。
Spaceship on the dark side of the moon. Do you think the Russians don't know that for the first time since John Glenn was sent up to orbit this planet, America cannot put a person into space without asking the Russians to do it? That we're not investing in the young generation of Americans? That we're willing to lose the race for artificial intelligence to the Chinese when China is rising? The China's GDP has quadrupled since 2001, tripled since 2003, doubled since 2009. Do we think that no one in the rest of the world knows all of that about us? For 10 years. For 10 years, Madam President. And now we're here with the government shutdown over his broken promise while the Chinese are landing spacecraft on the dark side of the...
片段三。
What a fantastic story for mankind, and what a good lesson for other countries.
In the last 10 years, the U.S. has been building 500-mile stretch of high-speed rail between San Francisco and Los Angeles. It was supposed to be finished by 2017. And many people think the answer is never going to be finished. So in those 10 years, how much high-speed rail did China lay down that's working today? So guess. 16,000. And before the 500 miles is finished in U.S., how much more will be in China? Another 16,000 at least. So in my book, Destined for War, I have in the first chapter called The Rise of China. And I give a short version of a quiz that I give to my students at Harvard. And the question for the heading is called, when could China become number one? And students guess 2030, 2040. And then I show them a second chart, which says already. China is already number one. So not only rival the U.S., but surpass the U.S., including as the largest economy in the world, when measured by the best.
片段四。
这边生活很不方便不舒服，但是现在比美国好多了。比如说那个交税，以前那个很麻烦，现在就是用手机，比美国简单多了。还有办那个驾驶证，现在非常专业的，对，就到那边很专业的，你哪个号码，然后就去做完了，很便捷。对，还有那个出入境。出境以前我第一次来厦门，88年坐船，香港18个小时坐船过来，4个小时过关。哇！现在那个出入境有那个一通那个电子，
就电子通行就可以过了。对，
美国也有，但是美国我夫人我们申请了，我们要到旧金山的机场，只有几个机场可以到那边要采访你，花了1年多才能安排的那个时间，到那边过夜申请200多申请。1年多500美元，在下。
片段5。
What was your feeling? Big shock, like totally different?
Well, to be honest, we didn't really like it because it was really chaotic and really busy, and it was too much for us. But like we've been here now 5 days, and we do love it now.
Yeah.
We feel like we're part of China now. We know our way around, and we've met lots of people, and everyone's so friendly. We know the food, and
once you get your to know the system and how things work, it's a lot nicer, and it's really nice. Yeah.
think the more you know it, the better it is.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
the more you
You
know.
know some cultural history, maybe more fun, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, of course.
I
Yeah.
mean, the hardest thing is a language barrier.
Yeah.
I see.
Like, especially for, like, we want to try local food, for example. But
片段6，
Guess 2030, 2040, and then I show them a second chart which says already. China is already number one. So not only rival the U.S., but surpass the U.S., including as the largest economy in the world.
片段7，
Name Chinese. It's too late. It's too late to learn Chinese. It's over. No, it's true. It's true because it's also one of the hardest languages in the world. I mean, how do you learn Chinese now? Just they've got over 10,000 characters in the alphabet. You know this? 10,000 characters. We've got 26 in English, and there's still people going, "What comes after Q?" 26. This is 10,000 they've got. That's super smart. Although they must have the worst Sesame Street in the world. It must suck being a Muppet in that country. I can just see them on a Monday morning singing to the kids. 西跑冲朝西走西，从房间从朝西。5 years later, 从朝鲜从朝西。
片段8，
First sociology class, here was China, and there was the United States. China was barely getting off the ground, and just look, man, look at that. Look at, in a short period of time, in nothing, in 20 years, here. And if you're not thinking about China, if you're thinking about the U.S., if you're thinking about your future, and you're not thinking about China, and you're not paying attention to what's going on with the dragon, you're missing out. You are missing something.
片段9，
用，而且也用的非常方便。我们欧洲那边的人，特别是德国人，我们很难的去接受一些非常新的东西，包括说新的科技。在中国这边，感觉反而对新的东西、对新的科技的一个接受度要高很多。反而很多人会觉得，哇，有一个新的东西，好有趣啊，好有意思，我也想试一下，我也想用一下。
片段10，
simply because the media and globally China is still making an impact. It's growing, like more so. I mean, in terms of like urbanism and promoting itself as like.
片段11，
And personal life and always the clients going out all day and all night, and it's fantastic, amazing city. Having spent some time in New York and having spent a lot of time in Paris as well, I have to say that Shanghai, the speed of life is maybe double that of New York. Really, truly, just amazing. Anything you want, no matter what time of day or night.
片段12，
为什么去？今天我问他们为什么没有来。而在我好朋友的家乡，
片段13，
We just have a restaurant here with an open kitchen, so you can walk in and have a look. Let's take a look inside. Wow! 你好，哎呦，可以看一下吗？ Wow! Here we have the chef. He is just preparing the food. 好厉害！ Looks like they're cooking fish. Just look at that. That fish has no chance. Alright, I'll leave them to it. I don't want to intrude too much. What's this? What's this safety sign?
片段14，
Как вкусно. Вкусно! Очень вкусно, просто очень. Курицу попробуем. Не могу взять. Да. Она сладкая. По 5-бальной я бы 6 поставила. Это мандарин. Да. Это апельсин.
Мандарин.
Это апельсин. Большая мандарин, апельсин.
Просто нравится всегда вот эти вот овощи. Они очень хорошо приготовлены.
片段15。
They do not have any systemic immigration and are unlikely to have it in the foreseeable future. China, in particular, will probably be the most successful of these countries because it does not have the handicap of being a democratic country. I don't believe that the descendant problem can be overcome in democracies. And China has a big advantage in this regard, that it could introduce policies such as paying high sums of money to female graduates to have children but not to the rest of the population. They can introduce policies of this kind, which would be unacceptable. When you're talking about sterilizing 23% of the male population, this will have a considerable eugenic effect. So, call this a pessimistic or an optimistic scenario. My view of the probable future is that while the genetic quality of the European populations declines, that of China will increase, together with her economic and military power. And to conclude on a note of qualified...
片段16。
China, I consider it to be my home. I love the people, and to me, China is home.
As far as I know, were you once a journalist before?
I worked for Britain's largest circulation daily newspaper for 6 years, and I have had many roles in the media, yes.
You got famous because your video has been broadcasted in a press conference of Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and it's discussed over a conversation by Hua Chunying and a foreign journalist. So you've been producing videos about how the West stigmatizes.
片段17。
Right? It's like, yo, man, here we are. China, here's China going this way, and by all accounts, the U.S. is going this way, and China is going this way. And this is big. This is big because look at China here. This is dude, when I was your age, sitting in classes, taking my first sociology class, here was China, and there was the United States. China was barely getting off the ground, and just look, man, look at that. Look at, in a short period of time, and nothing, in 20 years, here. And if you're not thinking about China, if you're thinking about the U.S., if you're thinking about your future, and you're not thinking about...
片段18。
They have 40,000 kilometers of high-speed rail. America has none. Our fastest train is the tram that goes around the zoo in this impacted colon of a country. China sees a problem, and they fix it. They build a dam. We debate what to rename it. That's why their airports look like this, and ours look like this. 2 bus lines through environmental review. In Boston, took 16 years. 37-story skyscraper in 19...
片段19。
今天呢，所有的中文老师都会来这个酒店培训。Oh, Ari, I think this is the dinner. Are you hungry?
Yes, I'm the first one to start eating in this whole hotel.
晚餐已经开始了。
可爱的张老师。
从那边，对，从那边。
嗨
姐。吃晚饭了。
So we got the classic fried chicken.
What is this?
I believe that's fried catfish.
Catfish?
Yeah.
片段20。
天津大学国际教育学院毕业生吴瑞龙，我来自委内瑞拉。今天我非常高兴，能够在本届毕业典礼上代表全体天大毕业的留学生发言。首先，我要感谢中国政府与我的国家一起监测文化交流项目，给我们来华留学的机会。得到了中国政府的信任和支持，我们才可以享受今天这么美妙的日子。今后有的同学要回国继续发。
片段21。
他给我写信，他说
你不懂中国的情况，你不应该写这样的信，你不懂了。我还是继续写，但是我很开心，我看到1年后那个博士给我写信，他说每个月期待我的信，所以他也有点思想有点改变。1992年的时候，我开始写文章，就是让外国人了解，其实中国的变化非常棒了。当时很多外国人批评我说：“你怎么知道你内地没有发展？”我说：“你怎么知道你没有吃过？”他们回答：“你怎么知道你也没有吃过？”我说：“这个有道理，我也不知道。”我买了一个面包车，你知道为什么我买面包车？因为